So I even made a different PowerPoint this time. So those of you who have heard me talk about this like for the last 3 years might not be completely bored. Um, no promises. But so we're going to talk about our safe sanctuary training. This is our time in the our way in the church of making sure that kids are safe, we're safe, everybody is able to have a fun and safe time. We'll get more into detail with that as we get going. We're doing this training because VBS is coming, but these are things that we need to be practicing throughout the year for the kids that we come across, but also for vulnerable adults, as we all have vulnerable adults in our congregations, those who may not necessarily be able to speak for themselves or make choices easily for themselves, but are still there for us to take care of. So I just want to keep that in mind as we get going. So the focus of Safe Sanctuary, like I said, is to make a safe and fun environment. Um, and you may have heard this mentioned in terms of preventing abuse. And yes, that is the overarching goal. But I also just like to think as it preventing situations where abuse could happen. Because I'm not worried about any of you abusing anyone. If you were, we would already have had conversations and you wouldn't be helping at BBS. But again, preventing situations where those things can happen helps not just us and the kids, but just overall, it creates a healthier environment for everybody. Um, so we're preventing those situations, and we're also showing love and respect to everyone who comes through the door, which you guys are already stellar at. So I'm not worried about that either. One of the reasons that it's really great to follow these, even though again, I'm not worried about any of you guys, is by modeling a safe and healthy environment. Hopefully, if someone is in an unhealthy or an unsafe environment, this will help them recognize that. So it's all about teaching what's it looks like as well. Okay, and now let's talk about what that looks like. So we'll talk about consent, and you've probably heard about this. It's one of those words that's come up a lot in popular media lately, and a lot of times it's used to discuss romantic relationships, but that's not the only way that consent is important. Any physical or sensitive discussion can count for this. And not just, again, between romantic partners, but consent is needed between adults to adults, but also adults to children, and even children to children. So it's important for everyone in the conversation to feel comfortable deciding where that conversation is kind of heading when it comes to these sensitive topics. And the focus while we're working with children and vulnerable adults needs to be on what the child decides they need, not what the adult or the helpers decide they need or what the adult or helpers need. So part of this is allowing the child to initiate any physical contact. This can be really hard sometimes when the kids are really upset and, you know, instinct is to just like scoop them up and hug them and, you know, give them all the loves. And maybe they're okay with that. Again, we're looking at letting the child make that first move. So you can sit next to them. You can offer and just feel like I'm here if you need anything kind of idea. And most kids that I've met who are all about the hugs will, and you know, ask for them if they need it. So I think that's really great to keep in mind, because there are also those kids who will have those moments of meltdown that any physical contact will just make it 1,000 times worse for one reason or another, which is another reason to be careful about it. So Safe Sanctuary also looks like being transparent about what we do. That means any physical contact that happens should be around other adults. Again, just being clear and transparent. Staying in groups in the open, which BBS is pretty easy where there's no situation besides maybe walking through hallways with another adult that you might not already be in one of the big places. And then the big part is with the groups, 2 or more unrelated adults. So youth helpers, thank you so much for being here. You are awesome. We need you. You do not count as one of the unrelated adults. So just getting that out of the way. You are valuable. We need you. But we don't need you taking on that responsibility. That's up to us. One thing that youth helpers can help with in this area though, if you're needing like a band-aid, or if you're needing something to be run upstairs, or one thing or another, there always seems to be something that comes up. Can't even think to name them all right now. The youth helpers, that can be something that they can go and do so that the adults can stay with the groups. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Let's see. Okay, and then reminders. We talk about this a little bit every time. Reminding each other about these guidelines. It's a kind thing to do. None of us are going to be like, how dare you not? Because we've all made silly mistakes. I've definitely brought kids out and away from groups thinking I was helping, when really it may not have been as helpful as I thought it was. And it took someone saying like, that probably isn't great, for me to brainstorm a different way to do it. So we'll talk about it a little bit more later too, but having so many different people with different experiences is really a benefit for the kids and for us, because we can talk things over. We can like put out some different ideas, brainstorm, and maybe an idea that Bonnie has will work better than one that I had, or maybe all to like pushing the little plans together, the perfect thing will come out. So that's one of the strongest things we got going for us as our church community. So this is an important part of it. We're also going to just talk about some other important things that you guys are already doing. So these are awesome things that I've already seen you guys do at BBS, for those of you who have been there before. I've also seen many of you doing this just throughout the year. So using preferred names and pronouns. I know that's not always the easiest. We've not all grown up doing that. So I appreciate the effort that you guys have put in for that. It makes a huge difference when we do put in that effort. And then I've also seen when mistakes were made, just a simple, oh, sorry, and a correct, and we've moved on, and that's just right. We don't need to spend too much time on it, but just acknowledging and moving on. And then engaging kids as they come in the door. Debbie's especially awesome at this, but I've seen all of you do a great job, like inviting people over, asking them their names. And it's just really encouraging to see how much the kids will kind of engage with that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Encouraging kind words and action when kids are not necessarily getting along the best, playing referee. Again, something I've seen mostly at, I think, games time, honestly. Things get a little heated, but just something that's also part of Safe Sanctuary is how we're treating each other. And then allowing kids to interact at their comfort level, having them, like I've seen people sit out with the kids when they're not comfortable with the game, or just, hanging out with them if they needed a minute. And both of those things are really a great way to practice Safe Sanctuary. And yeah, you guys are awesome. And that's part of that is also respects the kids' autonomy and choosing what they want to do. This is also the privacy and autonomy also is kind of the bathroom situation, because that's going to come up. We're working with young children. They're going to need to use the bathroom several times. So I would just want to identify, I've seen people handle those situations very well. by opening the door and kind of just standing at the door and kind of keeping an eye on the kids who are out in the hall and the ones who are in the bathroom still. Because if you don't watch the ones in the bathroom, suddenly water fights break out, which is impressive because we just have faucets. It's not like there's anything interesting, but yeah, so that's one way I've seen people do really a good job with that. There was an incident a few years ago where a child needed some help in a stall, and that was handled very well. I think the leader came and got me as the like director person, and like we spotted each other to take care of the situation. But yeah, those different situations that come up and are a little bit hairy at times. I've seen you guys handle it very well. And let's see, are there any other things I wanted to open it up? These are just some things I came up with not much time, honestly, spent on it. And I wanted to open up, was there anything else that you guys have seen others do that was really great and you want it to be recognized, maybe done again if it comes up?
Questions?
Okay. No big deal. We'll come up with some new ones this time. But yes, because there's always going to be new situations, ones that we haven't come up against before. And so we're all still learning, but that's really great that we are all still learning and figuring things out. Because one, it makes things a lot more fun than just doing the same thing every time. And we all have a chance to learn from each other. I mean, a lot of people in our congregation have experience working in education. A lot of people have experience working in like daycares, just experience working with kids at VBS. There's just such a wide variety of experience. It's really great to have the different perspectives coming together. And another really great thing is that none of us are experts at everything, which means we don't have to know everything at any point, and asking for help is expected. So those are two very good things. I hope that like relieves maybe some tension and expectation, because at the end of the day, we all want to be having fun and creating the best, safest place and the most enjoyable experience for the kids who come through the doors for this. Let's see. I think that's all I had on my end. Do you guys have any questions? All right. Again, many of you have been through this a few times, so you could probably teach it at this point. So I'm not too surprised. If any questions do come up or situations that you're not sure about, just you can email me or text me. I think most of you have that, or ask mom or email mom or grandma, and they can help you out too. See, is there anything else that I need to go over, Mom?
I think that covers it. I have a few just updates first. And I want the people on there to hear them too. Can everybody hear me up there? I'm close. Okay. Yeah. So we are standing right now at 12 campers. We have 4 youth helpers, which we count in the mix, and we add to that. So 16 campers, because they also can do everything that the other kids do. They you can add one more. There, oh good. Right now we will be running 2 groups, but 1 schedule. So there'll be 1 craft time, there'll be 1 snack games time, and there'll be 1 science time, which gives those leaders time to set up, take down, And it just makes for a very comfortable day. When you're done in your area, Bonnie won't be able to set up games for tomorrow, but science and art can be set up for tomorrow, the next day.
Oh, yes, yeah, I've got to get my
And
things
then
all
we
ready.
can see what else needs to be done.
Yeah.
Like I could come up maybe and help you.
Make
with
sure we
it.
have everything for the
Yeah.
next day. Yeah, that would be good.
You can always ask me in the kitchen because I
Good.
know where a lot of
You
things
know,
are.
yes. We also have a little different situation this year. One of the parents is asked to come with a 2-year-old and an older child. And I'm guessing that the older child, she was a little concerned that they would stay without her. So we have said yes to that, but with the understanding that she knows it's not necessarily safe for a 2-year-old to do all the things, but also she is responsible for the 2-year-old. Right? I will try, if she gets here early enough, to show her the nursery, to give her a schedule, so she knows where to find us at any given time if the child does need a nap or whatever. Changing table, that kind of thing.
Lori, what time is start and what time do you want to
Start is 9. I would like everybody here by 8:30 because we usually start getting kids shortly after that. But I also like to have a little prayer and update kind of thing. So that takes care of opening, closing. Oh, what the first day we're doing hats with the kids. So I wanted to let you guys know the hats won't fit us. So if you want to do hats with the kids, bring a hat. Theirs have cute little fireflies and stars and things, but if you want to join in the fun of dress up, that's what we're doing. Let's see. I think that's all. Is there anything else that anybody wants to ask or?
Will you be having a preliminary meeting so that we understand what, besides this, I mean, what the groups and the science, for instance, and crafts?
Right now, it looks like I could pretty much do that. It looks like most of the adults will be going around, except for Bonnie, Debbie. Debbie's doing science, and I'm doing crafts. So most of them will be with the group.
Oh, so when you're a group leader, you're not doing any of that.
You're just
observing.
getting the kids to and from, and you're welcome to join in the craft, and you're welcome to join in the science, because the more the adults join, the more the kids think, oh, that's cool, you know. And it also helps us to open up that dialogue. So they I think, get to feel that God's love is there, they're loved and cared for. So that's the goal of the week. Trying to think if there was anything else on that line. We may have to reassign some of the adults that go with the group to help with snacks once in a while, because again, that's a fluid one where people come and go as far as help.
Do you want to tell them about our idea of the fire around the campfire?
Yeah. There's one of these little rolling plant cart things. I want to build a fire pit on it kind of thing, a fake one, of course, but with light, you know, make it as real looking as possible. And it'll be in the middle of the floor, and then we'll do a campfire from opening and closing. Maybe snack, if you want to do it for snack, you could do it for snack. But it'll be movable, so when they get to the games, it's not something to fall over. Because they will do that.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought of something else. Oh, and as far as for the, we have a few that have mentioned in their registration that they get overwhelmed. So we are going to try to keep the levels down a little bit as far as how loud the music is. But also in each room, there will be a corner where there's a soft space.
Can you, before it starts, can you give us the names of those special people that might feel overwhelmed so we can keep our eye on them or no? I mean, I just
I
thought it
might be able to do that.
It's just a thought, but I just
Yeah.
thought it might help us.
I
to
could,
Like you, for example, when you're going around with everything, you can kind of.
they've done it on the registration, so as far as I'm concerned, it is knowledge. that
Yeah,
you-
yeah,
They
I just
want
thought
you to
it would be
have,
helpful.
so.
The people going around with the kids will probably want to know that too.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I thought, especially those people.
And I know we have had many in the past who have that, and one will be a senior, which are these things classical. And he's busy, but he's over by himself usually.
Yeah.
And as long as they're still biased, but they have found something interesting that is okay to be interested in.
Right, okay.
Then we just kind of keep eyes
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, that's good.
The important part is to, if you notice something that I'm kind of thinking they might be, we will try the first day to say, hey, guys, if you need a space, I don't know where we're gonna,
Place it, yeah.
maybe right in there,
Yeah.
where it's kind of out of the way. Pillows, crayons.
Do we have any
We
like?
even have noise counseling headphones that we can,
Oh,
you know,
do we have like a beanbag? Should we have a beanbag?
I have
You got
beanbag
beanbag
pillows.
pillows.
Yeah, no, I think that, I mean, I just think it'd be kind of
The
nice. if there was
beanbag
a couple
chair
places we just
exploded,
say,
so I have
If you need to
beanbag
just rest
pillows.
for a minute.
Or
Yeah.
even the nursery.
Oh, that's
place
true,
where
too.
The thing is, if we do the nursery, we have to send two adults.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so,
And I'm not saying that it may be possible. We'll see
Yeah.
on that day. I don't,
Yeah.
because I anticipate there will be maybe 4 adults going with a group of 60.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 1-to-1 right now, if we don't count that.
right.
You know, so we'll be fine. It's just, that does create, that need to have 2 adults. Because games is gonna be a hot point. And again, if they want to sit out and watch, they are completely okay doing that. We don't force any kind of action. Down in the craft room, if they don't want to do the craft, there is a ton of other stuff they can do. So there's just plain coloring, we're gonna have a creation station last year that worked really well. We just get a bunch of stuff from down in the basement that needs to be used up. We have pieces and parts from all kinds of things, and they can put them together however they want. So there are always options in each activity.
Yes.
Because this is gonna be the loudest space. It always is. The music, I mean, it's just loud. And most of the kids don't mind, but yeah, it's just designed that way.
But you have the choice to lower the volume, right?
We'll lower it some, because I've always felt it was a little too
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah, I felt it myself.
Mhm.
And again, say
Yeah.
something, please.
Yeah.
If you notice something that can help these kids, I think it was Tana that came in and said, closing's too long. We added 2 minutes to each of the things, or 5 minutes to each of the things. It worked out well. We're still using that schedule because it works so well. So if you see something that can help us out, say it, talk to us. If the youth helpers have anything that they're concerned about, or anybody, come to an adult, talk to us. Any adult in the room is fine, but if you're not comfortable with that adult, come to another adult and let us know what's going on. We will try to fix it. I mean, we'll do what we can do. Anything else? Any questions? Okay.
Oh, yes. Important snack time, when would that be?
Snack time's right in the middle. So we're doing
Okay.
crafts, and then we're doing science.
Science.
Crafts, snacks is right in the
So
middle.
Probably 10:30 or?
I don't have the schedule with me,
Okay.
so I'm not sure where it hits. It'd be between
Do they eat
10:30 and
and
11.
Or do they play?
You guys can work that out. I don't know which way works best, so whatever works
I think it'd be
best.
better if they eat first.
I
Then
think
they
so
don't have enough
too.
energy already, but otherwise, they tend to talk instead of eat. and
Yeah.
They don't eat before they have to go out.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And again, that's whatever works best. And some days it may work best to hold the snack till later. Some days it may
Or
not.
we can
Yeah.
Yeah.
and flexible.
Snacks are,
It's hard to stop them from games.
yeah, they really enjoy the games. And this way they have a somewhat quiet activity, a rowdy activity plus food, and then another quiet activity before they come up for the closing. And if that changes, like, we'd have to get 20 kids before we would think about doing that second rotation. And I might go up to as high as 22 since we have the adult ratio with that group. Because the more kids at games, the funner it is really, so the more fun we can have in that. I don't see that happening at this point. I think we're probably about where we're gonna be. I know of like 3 more maybe that might come, so.
I have a question about the snacks, Judy. Who fixes or provides? Do you need help with that? How does that work?
Well,
Plan.
Darlene and Julie and I would be preparing them. We have one parent that wants to get either wraps or sandwiches from Albertsons for one day. And the wraps are cut so that they are pinwheels. She had to explain it to me because I've never done this. And so that will be one of them, which will come in from Albertsons. But it'll be like mini corn dogs and things like that. It's more or less a pickup food, yeah.
To have some protein, right?
Yes, they'll have it.
Well, the corn
And-
dogs,
Yeah.
they may be my own version, like wrapping these in a crepe.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Those little smokies.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
We got a list of suggestions from
Yeah.
the youth
I,
helpers and
this
the
is what
kids,
the
so.
kids wrote.
something
so-
like.
Oh, that's a great
For the
idea.
kids.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to incorporate some, not all.
Great.
Yeah, we can do most of it.
S'mores, we were talking about maybe a s'mores mix where they can put a spoonful of each thing in that they want, and then they can have it as their own.
Rather than, I mean, they can pretend to.
They can
roast
do
it
it.
and have, but
Okay.
otherwise.
Yeah.
It may not. It's not as easy to make a s'more ahead and have it
Oh, yes.
do.
Yeah.
They just feel
Not
melty
when
and
they
gross,
come
so
in.
that way the mix would be not as melty
And they
Yes.
have snack mixes that are s'mores mixes and they. I'm surprised it's cereal and everything else.
Yes.
So
and they love making
I've
their
never
own,
done
so.
it anyway,
yes.
but with graham crackers, chocolate and marshmallows, which is gooey. I liked it when I was younger. I did.
So,
I can't eat them
somebody
anyway now.
told me this earlier, so I bought all these after Easter. So somebody told me it's really fun to make s'mores with peeps. And,
With what?
peeps.
Those
Oh,
are
the
little
marshmallow and
Is that
yellow.
the bunny marshmallows that you
Yes.
get really small?
Have you done that before?
No, I haven't made a
Well,
marshmallow. I just-
Yeah, but anyway, so what happened was I bought all these peeps because we're having a big group at Nat Cheese later in July. But now all the little kids aren't coming, so if anybody wants my peeps. And I don't know, I
What
don't know.
about the 2 youth leaders? Would you be willing to try yellow s'mores?
What are pink or purple?
Kids like using marshmallows.
Using the
We used to
peeps.
keep
They're talking about melting them, so they would be a different
So
color.
they would be a different color.
Yeah, I mean, there's still marshmallows, they're just really.
Yeah.
They're very sugar coated.
The marshmallows burned into our heads, she's like, what are you guys talking about?
We might say that for Friday before they.
Yeah.
Yeah, the possibility is just to put them out and let them take, have them as a part of.
Yeah,
the
they can
snack.
feed them,
Yeah,
yeah, they're cute that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, marshmallows are still edible on camping
Right,
trips, so I
right.
mean, yeah. Is there anything, any other questions? All right. Kayla, so can you lead us in a closing prayer, please?
Yeah. Please take an attitude of prayer, whatever that looks like for you. Dear Lord God, thank you for this time together. Thank you for all of these wonderful people who are learning and ready to meet the kids that you send our way. Thank you for all 12 of the children you've already sent our direction. Please help us be ready and open to receiving them. Please watch over us as we go through snacks and crafts and science and all the fun in betweens and the games, of course. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. I think we lost. All right, so I'm gonna stop the recording.